there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
Hey, this is Tim Ripper Owens right here. And yes, you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Let's rock.
The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father. And as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. And today it's a huge honor and privilege to welcome former Judas Priest and current vocalist of KKs Priest, Tim Ripper Owens, to the show. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about because KKs Priest is set to release their album Sermons of the Sinner via Explorer1 Music Group, EX1 Records on August 20th. And also check out KKs Priest single Hellfire Thunderbolt out now, and that's a fitting name for that title track. So Tim, man, welcome to the show, and how you been doing?
I'm good. I'm just waiting to get this record out. It's been delayed a little, and just ready to get it out. We've got 3 songs out, 3 videos out now. We've got Hellfire Thunderbolt, we got Sermons of the Sinner, and we just released Brothers of the Road, which is the mellowest of them so far. So we're ready to go.
That was going to be my next question about all this, because you guys have to be itching to get this thing out finally, because it's been a while since you guys have been sitting on this, pretty much, correct?
Well, it has. We finished it right before, we recorded it. I shouldn't say finished it. We recorded it right before COVID hit. I think I got out of there at the beginning of March out of England. So people were, it was just kind of starting to get around and talk about it. So I know the drummer flew in and got out of there really in the nick of time, because he flew in right after I did. So, then it was halted. We had plans to tour and to get on some festivals, but then that was just obviously all stopped. The label's definitely not going to release it when we can't support it, at that time. And so then, KK went in and made some changes and some songs, and then I came home and decided to, since we started having some more time, we changed a few vocal things around, and I was able to do it in my studio, and it matched up really well, so I was able to change some things and have some different ideas. But, we really, we finally are getting close to getting it out. Originally, it was August 20th or something, and now it's delayed to October 1st, so it's kind of like, oh, my God, please just come on, let's get this thing going.
Yeah, and think about it now, you guys are a new band. You guys have been around for a long time as far as veteran musicians, but as far as this band nucleus, it's a new band. So this has to be aggravating to be a new band and can't tour on it, can't do nothing, so you basically had to adapt and do other things right now. Yeah,
it really did do that. The thing is, if it was just a project, we could have put this record out, Mm-hmm. You don't expect much. The labels, every project I do, the labels do a really good job at first, and then they just let it disappear. The record, when you put out something, whether it's Spirits of Fire, which you put out and you're totally behind, but then eventually, because of us, we didn't tour on it. Well, with KKs Priest, we're going to tour, we're going to support it. It's a band, it's a real band. So the label's going to sink a lot of money into it to put it out there. And they're not going to sink a lot of money into it if we can't tour and do the right thing. So yeah, this, we couldn't take band photos. The first 2 videos we released with Hellfire Thunderbolt, Sermons of the Sinner, obviously the drummer's in San Diego and I'm here in Ohio. So we can't even get together. We have to green screen stuff and give it to them. We just shot 2 more videos we finally went to England and shot 2 videos, and then we released 1, Brothers of the Road, and then we'll have another one coming out soon. So yeah, it's made everything change on how we can do it. Obviously you can record the record separate if you wanted to, but just to get this thing going the right direction and putting full effort into it, we have to be together to do it.
How's it been working with KK again? I know this has to be special to be working with him once again.
Well, it is, and the thing about Ken and I is we've been friends, as I have been with all of the guys in Judas Priest, including Rob and the management, and even Richie, we're friends. So, everybody, we're all friends. But Ken, we've stayed in contact the most, to be honest, throughout the years, while he was in Priest. I would do touring over in Europe, and I would do some runs through the UK, and he always came out to my shows. It could be 2 hours away, and he would make the drive. And funny thing is, he'd always bring AJ with him. He was behind the band Hostile, which AJ was in. And so AJ would come out, Ken would come out with his girlfriend and bring a bunch of band guys with him, including AJ, and he'd bring a couple cases of beer and give it to the band and hang out. And, it was always good seeing him. We'd grab some dinner, and always a good time. So, but it was nice when he did it. I'm pretty busy, so it wasn't like I was sitting home doing nothing. I think the first thing you wanted to find out, management was like, hey, do you have time to do it? You're doing the 3 Trimmers, you're doing the New Revenge, Spirits of Fire, and so luckily Spirits of Fire, I decided not to do that one again, and left that project. And a New Revenge I'd like to do again. 3 Trimmers, we have a new record coming out, but I will be totally in. I will be committed to KKs Priest when we start touring. It's going to be only that. So I think that was a big one. Do you have time to do it? And like I said, everybody knows I tour the world probably 75% of the year solo. So, but I was all in. I was excited. I heard the songs. KK played for me the songs, ideas, and the demos he was working on. And I thought they were fantastic, and I thought it was exactly what we should be doing. So I was excited. I love hanging out with Ken. It's always a good time to hang out with him, and so that was what was going to be fun as well.
And the man has so much knowledge, not just because, you're from Judas Priest. You know what I'm saying? The man has a abundance of knowledge of music. Look where he's come from and what he's done and what he's brought and added to the wheel for music, man, in my opinion.
Well, and the exciting thing about him is, and I say it all the time, is, all he knows is a band is Judas Priest. He never did a solo record. He might have did a guest solo of somebody's thing here and there. You never really heard about it. He was excited about Judas Priest. He lived and loved Judas Priest. And I think you can hear that on this record. You could tell that he was, a major spark plug in the Judas Priest writing machine, because when I heard him write it and I hear him play, I'm like, man, that's exactly what you do. That is KK Downing right there, man. But it's nice that here's someone who's just came up in this one band. It's not like he's jumping around. Listen, I jump around. I got 8 million things going on. Well, this is a different era. Even being in KK's Priest, I'll never be able to just be in KK's Priest. I'll have to do other things. It's just the way it is nowadays. Plus, I like to stay busy. I like to make money, so I'm constantly. I just got done singing a song in the studio right now. For somebody from Bulgaria. So it's kind of like KK is exciting because that's what he lives and breathes. He was Judas Priest in that writing process, and it's great to see him back at it again.
Would you say, Ripper, this album is a statement for KK to say, I'm still here, guys. I'm not leaving. I'm still tearing it down right now?
Well, I think it is, but I think his main thing was he just wanted to do something himself. I think he wanted to be, instead of somebody telling him what to do, which seemed to be what was happening from when you read his book, it was losing a lot of say. And he wanted to, I think that was the big one. Listen, he was going to write like he writes. So he went in and wrote it. But, as being a statement, of course, it's going to be him saying, look, I'll do something. I can do something on my own. I've never done it. I've never been anything else, but I can do something. I'll just write like KK Dowling. So I think that was the big one. It's some songs are going to have that metal cheesiness to it, which every record and every band does. Listen, just heavy metal alone, when we wear these clothes we do on stage sometimes when we get older, that's pretty cheesy. But that's what we are. That's what we know. He's doing what he knows and what he knows his fans and our fans would love. You can write about a metal monster. You can write about throwing your fists in the air. You can write about being brothers of the road. some people might not like that part of it. But then, obviously, Judas Priest made a living of writing songs about parental guidance and turbo lovers, and you know what I mean? It's not like they were writing masterpiece lyrics. They were writing lyrics that had to be written that people enjoyed. And they wrote things about painkillers and I about said Scream Machine, that's mine. Painkillers and screaming for vengeance and electric eyes and things. So you can write about anything. And I think he just wanted to do whatever he wanted. He wants to make the fans happy.
Yeah.
He wants to make the fans happy, but he wants to make himself happy. And he wants to show that we're all part of the machine, the fans and the bands in general. And I think that's what this album is. It's more of a statement of this is who we are. This is what heavy metal and us, we're brothers of the road. Whether it's the guy driving the truck, the fan driving the motorcycle, the band in the bus or the van, we are all brothers of the road. So I think that song sums it up. I know people say, it's kind of cheesy lyrics, but that sums up what this is about, doesn't it?
But you know what, man? The cool part about this is I'm just a music lover in general. I love the old school stuff that you guys still do and still cherish it to this day. But these 3 songs, man, are just, and I'm not saying this because you're on here. I'm just saying this because it's absolute God's honest truth. It's got that hard feel to it. It's like, my God, this is the way, it used to be, and it should still be. But I know people grow, people do their own thing, but these songs grab your attention and they take you back, if that makes sense.
Well, it does, and it's still got that edge to it that doesn't look like we've just made a record from 1983. It's got the edge. It's got, like I said earlier, it's got KK Downing in it. I know people are like, man, this sounds like Judas Priest. I wish you would have tried to do something different. No, it sounds like KK Downing. I mean, it sounds like KK Downing. I'm singing when somebody says, wow, that Sermons of the Sinner, that sounds a lot like Rob Halford. I wish he'd sing like himself. I'm like, Jesus, I've been singing for over 30 years now. I've made 50 albums. Can somebody please finally just say that he sounds like Timothy Owens? I mean, I'm not trying to sound like anybody. KK Downing made a record, that's KK Downing. And what I was going to say was when I heard it, like the last song, The Return of the Sentinel, when it ends, it just there's some good little guitar notes that remind me of something from Rockarola, but it's just KK writing like KK. I mean, you can't be in a band for 40 years or whatever, be in it since 1970. And all of a sudden, why would you want to come out at 70 years old and invent the wheel or change what you do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you write like KK Downing. I sing like I sing. I mean, I got a pretty wide range. So one minute I could have a voice that's heavy like Sepultura, Pantera. The next minute I can have a clean, clear note. 1 minute I could sing heavy metal. Next minute I could sing something Jesus Christ Superstar. I mean, it's kind of, so, I mean, people love to hear one song and go, is this what it's going to be? Or even like Brothers of the Road. First Sermons of the Sinner, because it was heavy and high notes, and there's people, not everybody, we got great reviews on it. But there's people going, this is it. I expected it to be different. And then you release Brothers of the Road, and you got to say, other people going, oh my gosh, this is what it is. It's like, man, KK Downing you're going to wait till this record comes out because it's got a little bit of everything, but it's heavy metal and it's KK Downing.
What was it about the track Hellfire Thunderbolt that led it to be the first single, or was there another track that could have, been the first single other than Hellfire Thunderbolt possibly?
I don't think so. I love it. I think it's the perfect song to release. I think it's the absolute perfect song to release. I think it just paints a nice picture of kind of what it is. I mean, the most high notes on this record, that's what's funny, is people were like, oh my gosh, he's going to be singing high notes, because especially Sermons of the Sinner, but probably the most high notes on the whole record are probably on those first 2 songs, Hellfire Thunderbolt and Sermons of the Sinner. But Hellfire Thunderbolt is just such a perfect beginning song. It opens up the record. I could see us opening the concert with it. So I just think it was the perfect song. I mean, you don't listen, singles are singles. I mean, they're not going to get on the radio anyways. You can just release a song that you think is going to punch somebody in the face and go, this is what we're about. And I think Hellfire Thunderbolt has that. I really think it has that whole thing.
Yeah, agreed. I like it. I like how it kicks off, man. And just, like you said, it punches you in the face, and you keep coming back for more. It's kind of like Homer Simpson with the battery. You keep licking the battery. Oh, no.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And I get, listen, people aren't going to like it. I understand. Just make sure you say not some stupid reason,
Right.
And then it's always like, oh, really? That's why? I mean, because, I don't know, because my shoes aren't the right shoe in the video. I don't know. But, the first three we released are all three a little bit different. Brothers being the most commercial. Brothers is written, really, to me, Brothers of the Road is written for live, man. I mean, so is the other ones. I mean, I could definitely hear Hellfire Thunderbolt live, but Brothers of the Road is just, Brothers of the Road, and we rock. You can just hear the crowd singing, and I drive all day, and it's like, this is awesome, And the next song, Raise Your Fist, is what it's going to be called, and it is fantastic. Same vein. It's the same kind. It's the same live, let's throw our fists in the air, and so it's, but Hellfire was the one that gives you the best picture of the record, I think. Because there's epic songs. These first two were metal, straightforward metal songs. The second two were heavy metal songs, but the slowed down, fists in the air. And then the record has, all kinds of different types of songs on it. And that's they got some epic ones coming up. Return of the Sentinel is probably one of my favorites, and it ends the record. So. Was
there a track that you guys were working on that totally ended up sounding different than intended to, or maybe it pushed yourself more on that song? Maybe
there is Metal Through and Through. I think that one changed the most. Probably my favorite, one of my favorites originally, and then it moved down the list when we just tinkered with it. Still a fantastic song. It's just originally it had the mixture of every single thing I love. And what happens is, what it became was a more epic song. I think there was more changes put in. I felt like it lost a little bit in the vocals. I still have the demo of it or the original vocals that I recorded when I came back from there. And definitely probably was one of my favorites, and it probably changed the most where it went down the list for me. Still, it's really, really, really good. It just lost I'll tell you what, it was an anthem for live. It's not anymore because there's too many moving parts in it, but it was an anthem for live concert. It was like, holy shit. My girlfriend, I don't even want to play her the changes because it was her favorite on the album, and so it was her favorite, and she's not a metalhead though, so this one was able to and now it has these parts in it where I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to play it for you now. You're not going to hear it because they're going to kill me. But I'm not saying it changed it to be it's probably a better song. Mm-hmm. It's just changed it where it moved it out of my favorite just because I liked it, because it had these crowd fist parts where you put some haze in it. Oh, and then it had some hey, it was freaking awesome, and things have been removed, and this up-tempo part was put in, so I'm like, yeah, that kind of moved mine back. But you know what? There's been songs that's moved up that we changed that actually made it better for me. This is like my opinion. It doesn't. It's just there's other songs that we did. Wild and Free, actually, we made some changes, and I like it. It moved up my list, so I guess one goes down, one comes up.
It changes every day. It's kind of hard. It's like picking your favorite child. Oh, what am I going to like today? Who's my favorite today?
Well, you know what happens, John, is you do the demos, or not even the demos. I do my vocal tracks, and I come home with it, and you get used to the original guy that did the vocal mix in the studio when I recorded it. Did a fantastic vocal mix. The vocals sound so good on it. It's like just rock, man. For not spending time with it. That's what I kind of mean. It's like we made it really fast. And there was, obviously he had to fix levels, but man, it sounds so good. And you live with these things. You live with the songs, and right away I say, that's my favorite. Well, then if it changes, it makes you go, oh, and that happens with even the ones I write when I'm writing songs. When I did my solo record, Play My Game, there were songs in my demo that I liked much better than the final outcome of the song in the studio. But you get used to demos, or the first versions or whatever, and that's it's hard to change those.
What's impressed or excited you the most about making this debut album, Sermons of the Sinner, if anything? What sticks out the most for you, possibly, Ripper?
No, I think the songs are great. I'm excited for Ken to be able to write these. When he wrote them for me. Him knowing me so well, like when AJ, the guitar player, laid down most of the vocal ideas for me, like here's a little vocal guide to do, and he's so good of a singer, it was kind of scary to me. Like, Jesus, man, you're giving this young kid in here to do these vocals. No, I got to go and do it. But the thing was, I was excited because Ken wrote these songs for me to sing. So I'm excited that Ken's was going to make this record. I think the most exciting thing is just doing this, being able to this album's, it's what's needed. It needed to be out, the style of it, the songs, the artwork, these videos, whether someone's going to think it's a cheesy video or not, it all has a reason, there's a reason for all of it, so, I'm excited. I'm just excited to put it out, the writing process, going to Ken's house, hanging out with the guys. Everybody's great guys. And it's going to be a good time.
All right, Ripper, do you feel like you've grown as a vocalist? Do you feel like you're a better vocalist now than when you first started? Do you feel like you've came into your own voice now?
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, the years and years of all the records I put out, the different style of music I sing. Listen, I'm a better singer now. There's hands down, I'm a better singer. I wish I just had the equipment to sing with that I had when I was younger, because my vocal cords I could do anything I wanted when I was in my 30s. I could do anything I wanted vocally. Didn't matter. And I could do it every single day. Now it is just a touchy thing, man. It's my vocal cords are, it's like a piece of paper or glass. I got to be so careful with it, But I'm a better singer. I have more character. I'm raspier. I have, but yeah, I mean, I've been singing, since before Priest. I had records out and people heard what I sounded like. That's why I always get pissed off when somebody says that I'm trying to sound like something. First of all, I don't sound like Rob Halford anyways. I don't sound like him. I have the same style. I mean, I hit high notes, but we don't sound the same. It's just a similar vocal style. But I definitely sound like no one else, and it's funny because when people stop and slow down and just, don't want to do their usual bitching, because that's pretty much what people do. They just want to complain or bitch and have something to say. If they just slow down for 1 second, think about something, because that's the problem with the world now, is they don't stop and think or use common sense. And they think, hey, you know what? Who he sounds like? He sounds like Tim Ripper Owens. Because I don't sound like anybody else. And I'm always growing, though, John. I'm always trying to figure, listen, I'll get vocal things from any singer. I mean, just like any mechanic or anybody at their job will watch somebody else and get, oh, man, I could take a little, I mean, the Beatles did it. I watched that special on the Beatles, and Paul McCartney saying, yeah, we loved R&B, and we would hear Little Richard and like, oh man, I like how he's doing that. And you kind of you always evolve as a singer. So I still do, but I've grown a lot as a singer. And I sing a lot, man. That's one thing I do.
That's true. You do put it out there, and I just think people bitch and complain just because they don't have the same opportunities as other folks. But you can't do nothing if to me, you can't do nothing if you just sit there, So
I don't even think it's that. I just think that's what they want to do. I mean, that's just,
That's true.
They open up social media and all they go, well, I'll put something on my own page and people come and bitch about it. I'm like, why? I mean, this is my page and you're saying how shitty the Sermons of the Sinner is or how shitty the KK stuff is or you hate the name. Stay the fuck off my page. I mean, why do you just have to come here and complain? I've never went to somebody's page and complain about their personal stuff. I might complain about like, hey, I love this chicken sandwich, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't care for it that much. But I usually wouldn't even do that. But if somebody posted a picture, check out my new hat, I love it, I wouldn't go, that is so stupid looking.
Yeah.
But people just wake up going, okay, who can I try to offend today?
Yeah.
Or who can I, it's like, I'm glad. I don't want my kids to be like that. I mean, I know I piss people off and say something, but I do not personally attack people on pages. I might personally attack something they've posted about something else, but not their. I'll never say you look stupid, your music's terrible. I couldn't imagine going to Iron Maiden's page and saying, you know what, guys, I hate that record. It's just stupid. I don't, and it's on my page, so people wake up to do that. To give me advice, or I'm not going to, I don't know. It's just kind of crazy.
What do you hope everyone takes away while listening to these new singles or this new album when it comes out? What do you hope they get from it, Ripper, when they start listening to it, man?
Just have some fun. Sit back and enjoy some metal. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Don't listen to it. Stop bitching about it. Just enjoy it, and listen, have some fun. I mean, it's not all serious. We don't have, if we wrote songs about politics, they'd hate us. If we write songs about monsters, they hate us. If we write songs about cars, they hate us. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Sit back, jam a little bit of heavy metal. And again, like I said, if you don't like the songs or name or record and you refuse to, then just move on. Go get yourself a new Saxon record and have a cigar and cup of tea and have a good time.
I've got to ask this question because I've watched this movie and I know you're probably sick and tired of hearing about it, but what's your thoughts still to this day of the movie Rockstar, looking back on it now?
Well, it is what it is. I mean, it was originally going to be pretty cool, I think. It was a cool idea. They got the story about me from a New York Times article, but it was going to be called Metal Gods, and it was my story about my life. And the band just looked at it and said, listen, we don't like what you guys are doing, which it was, a good move because they just were making their own movie, and they weren't giving Judas Priest said, we want some kind of creativity in this thing. And they said, you can't have none. We're making our own movie. And so we pulled away from it. I wish we wouldn't have pulled away from it because I wouldn't have mind making a little money. But since they pulled away from it, we didn't get paid anything. And it's unfortunate for me because I get to hear about it I probably hear about it every week. Somebody's talking about, hey, the movie Rockstar, that's loosely based on Tim Owens, and yet I've never made a dime. It was a cheesy movie, could have been serious. Listen, but I got to be honest, Mark Wahlberg played me, and he has abs, and I've never had abs in my life. So the closest thing I got to an ab was a hernia.
Oh God.
So, so it was pretty cool. But it was cool that they did it. I get to talk about it. I'm hoping that someday they'll make a new movie, and then what's cool is when they make a new movie about my life, they can have that inside the movie. So they're going to talk about, wow, look, they're making a movie. It's kind of cool, but it was neat. It was a neat idea. I think it would have been nice to be a real movie, but it is what it is.
Do you still have a go-to album or song that you find yourself going back to and listening to still to this day, man, that you just you have to go back and listen to it every now and again? It just takes you back.
Well, if I'm going to do that, not my own music, I'm always going to go back and listen to maybe something off of Point of Entry, but I'd probably go to Ronnie Dio, anything from Ronnie Dio, from the Heaven and Hell record, or just really any of it. Like I just put on maybe a Rainbow, or I'll put on something from his stuff, and it's just always like, yes, I'll just say this, Ronnie Dio is my go-to.
Tim, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, especially you and your stuff? Because you got some a new album coming out, correct? Your solo stuff, or with another band? Is that correct?
Well,
What's
I got a new Three Trimmers record coming out, and I did some guest vocals on a band called Pyramid, and I'll tell you what, you can check anything that I've done. You can come to my website, which is timripperowens.com, but just go to my social media pages. Instagram, there's a Tim Ripper Owens page, which they can find. If you just Google it, you'll find it. I know there's a link on my Facebook pages that gives you all of them, and a link on my website that'll give you all of them. But, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, I'm on all of them. They just got to, make sure it's the real Tim Owens and not some guy in Ecuador who's acts like me.
Folks, you want to get out and pick up this album and pre-order it right now, you can do that. You can check out their website at KKsPriest.com. Facebook, just type in KKs Priest. That's all you got to do, and you'll find everything there. I'll even link these in the YouTube interview that I post up here. So all the links will be here. And I also put Tim's stuff in there as well. So, Tim, man, if you don't mind, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Sure, you got it. Hey, this is Tim Ripper Owens right here. And yes, you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Let's rock.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour Podcast. Get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, YouTube link, and you definitely want to subscribe to that YouTube link because we got a lot of stuff coming up, man. Trust me. Tickets to Alice Cooper and Ace Frehley show, can't get any better than that. And also check out this new album from KKs Priest. I'm telling you right now, folks, these first 3 singles are a brutal hit in the face. And I'm not just saying it again because Tim's on here. It's just good rock music. And check out Tim's stuff too, not just with KKs Priest. His older stuff too. He's a phenomenal singer. And Tim, man, thank you for doing this interview, and I truly appreciate you so much.
You got it, buddy. Stay in touch, and we'll do it again.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.